Welcome back to a brand new episode of Millennial Marriages podcast. I'm Ryan Mossman. I'm here with my wife,
Sandra Mossman.
Sandra Mossman. She took my last name, so she better use it. Today we're going to be talking about communication and conflict resolution, and we're also going to talk about unrealistic expectations. So these are challenges that every relationship faces, so hopefully we'll give you some insight into how we handle these challenges, and we hope that it will help you. Please, if you're listening to this on any podcasting, hosting website like Spotify, Apple, we're on pretty much all of them. Please give us a 5-star review, leave a comment. If you're watching this on YouTube or Rumble, please also give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out, and you can reach out to us with any topics that you would like us to discuss on future episodes. So with that, we're going to start with communication and conflict resolution. Effective communication and conflict resolution skills are crucial in any relationship, but millennials may struggle with expressing their needs and resolving conflicts constructively.
Love the topic. I love the topic.
You love the topic.
I can start. I think in our marriage, I had this issue. So we are together already like 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so Ryan, he's my first like real like serious partner, and he was the first person who I lived with, and I never lived with anybody else like a man. And it was difficult for me to communicate what I like, what I don't like, and like as a communication issue. What the issue for me was what I think like usually we take the patterns of our parents, how they communicate, and in my parents they struggle with the communications, and like my dad, he's more like he's likely like just shut up, and he don't tell what the issue is, and he just like can be quiet for like days and don't tell what's really happening. So I took this pattern in our relationships, like my dad, who didn't speak with my mom for like 2-3 days and didn't tell what's really happening. So he told like, oh, just like try to figure out what the issue is about, and for like
or just ignore it. Maybe just ignore it.
Ignore and don't
hope
talk.
It goes away.
Yes, and this is big topic. So as the first year of our life together, it was difficult for me. I was like really like I couldn't tell Ryan what's happening. I couldn't like tell like, why you don't understand me, like, oh, I want this one, I want like, it was so bad. What really helped me the first year was the psychology. I didn't go to the therapist, but I started to take different like psychology courses about like communication, how you communicate, how you work on yourself. It's all about your self-work. And then started to communicate better with Ryan. And now if something is happening, or like I need to discuss something, I'm like very easy to tell Ryan what's happening. Yes, and how I want to reveal the tip, what we do with the communications. Mm-hmm. I can tell.
What's the tip? What do we do?
What we do, like
during conflict.
Like normal couple, like everybody, we also have our communication issues. We like, it's normal to have the discussions. It's normal to have disagreements, but it's not like a conflict. It's just like you have your perspective, I have my perspective, and we try to understand like what's happening. So what we really do, we in the common environment, like we have like fight, and then after we try just to sit down after the fight and explain how I feel and how you felt? Like,
We'll wait like a little bit. There'll be like some time between the fight and when we discuss. So like usually it'll be like, okay, we have fight or disagreement and emotions are running high, right? And we're kind of, we don't really like yell at each other, but we're obviously at an impasse and there's a disagreement and we don't see eye to eye on whatever it is. And then I'm more kind of like force the makeup scenario, like let's stop fighting, like or I don't want to fight anymore. But you are more like, okay, we can make up for now, but we're gonna definitely discuss this later.
yes.
And I like know that it's coming. And I think I'm more kind of like, I'm okay in those situations where we discuss it, but I think I'm more kind of like, it's fine, like let's just move on.
Yeah,
So.
and like yes, like how Ryan told about the timeline. What's important, like the fight, you get this agreement, you don't fight anymore. But it's so important to, next day or maybe like later after like 5-6 hours to come back to this topic and discuss in normal terms what happened and what we can do not to do in the like future. It's the same, like it's a partnership. Same like in the business, kind of. You get this like action points, what we can do to improve. So from now on, like so it doesn't happens again.
Yeah, so that's how we handle it anyway.
And it's worked so good for last like forever now.
But you're right, in the beginning there definitely was like it was difficult to get out of you what was the matter. You know? Like I remember on our first trip together to Zion, and it was like a 9-hour drive or whatever, however long it is. Really long drive. And you were like upset with me. And keep in mind, we've been dating 2 weeks or something at this point, but you were mad about something. Like the whole drive home, and I kept asking you like, what is wrong? Like, what is the matter? Why are you upset? Like, why aren't you talking to me? Like, you're obviously something is wrong. And you were just like, no, it's fine. It's fine. No, it's fine. Nothing's fine. Everything's fine. And then I think finally at some point you mentioned that you were like upset how I was driving your car. Do you remember this?
Maybe.
Maybe? You were upset about how I was driving your car, like you thought I was driving your car too aggressively or something.
Yeah.
And
I felt not appreciated.
And I thought it was so dumb. Oh, I was like, what? Like, this is why I thought, like, I must have done something or offended you or whatever it was, but you were upset about how I was driving your car. But the what is not what's important. The why, I should say. The why you are upset isn't what's important. It's the understanding, okay, these are your feelings and you have them for some reason, and kind of understanding this is where you're coming from. And maybe it wasn't even necessarily the car was the issue. I think that was just what you chose to be mad about at that moment.
And right now, what's like in current, like after like 6 years of like my like constant work on myself and all growing up, like on our relationships, now when something bothers me in drawing, like right away I understand, like trying to understand like what's happening inside me, what is like wrong. It's not like about Ryan. It's like he do something, whatever he do, like something like bothers me, but like it's not about Ryan what he do. It's again something about me. And sometimes I tell you like, give me some time. I need to understand what really is it your issue or it's like my issue. It's like some from my past, from my like relationship with my parents, whatever, from my like my history. It's not like I just like you project me this whatever situation is.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like you'll project your past or whatever it is, your relationship with your parents or your siblings or whatever thing you've experienced in the past, you might be projecting on a certain situation.
Yes.
And now you're mad at me because of something somebody else did to you in the past.
Yeah.
It's like that song, Daughters. You ever heard the song Daughters by John Mayer? Mothers, be good to your daughter. For fun.
Yes, yeah, I understand the.
That's like the whole point of the song, and
Yes,
it's like
yeah.
such a beautiful song. He's
Mhm.
basically explaining how he has this relationship with this woman, and like she's treats him a certain way, or their relationship can't progress because of the relationship that she has with her
Mhm.
parents.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then the whole point of the song is like, parents, be good to your
Mhm.
kids because they'll love like you do.
Yes, it's
He's such a good songwriter. It's such a good song.
and
You
yeah,
wanna
like
listen
when
to it
you
as
like
soon as we're done?
when you
It's such a good song.
when you it's again, it's all happening like how you understand yourself, your parents, how your relationship is like parents is very important, how you understand yourself. And like another point, like through like our conflict resolution about understanding yourself, also want to bring astrology.
Mm-hmm.
It's also huge topic in our relationships, because in astrology it helps me to understand my issue and my issue in the marriage, and I understand why I yelled and wasn't like happy with Ryan in certain moments, because I need to work on my planets on my astrology, and I know like what's positioned there and what's issue in my astrology is there. So for like last like 4 years, 3 years, I already work on it. So it's like it's helped me with my relationship with Ryan, and also I understand his astrology. I know exactly what his difficulties are, and I understand like okay, so it's just the way he is. He will work on it. He will get better, but it's his like weakness are, and it's okay. So I like I understand it. I accept it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it's so much more easier for me to accept it because I understand like it's just difficult it is. And third one is our compatibility, astrology compatibility, and we have like very good compatibility in the like house work, the like how it works the housework, but we have difficult compatibility with the business partners. And for a long time it was difficult, like I didn't want to go with a partnership with you in the business because I know like we will not agree to each other, we will not have like we have like it was difficult for us to be the partners. And I think you remember when we started to do the like sell the masks.
Yeah, we did that. We had a business in the past selling face masks during COVID.
And I was like the communication was difficult.
Yeah.
We didn't know how to manage. I was like yelling at him like you don't do enough.
Right.
I was like overworking so much because like I need to do it all these tasks.
And I was like, you're not doing this right. Like,
yes.
This is wrong. Like, we need to do this better.
Yes.
Yeah, because I was more perfectionist and you were more like,
yes.
We have so many orders, like, we need to just get it done.
Yes. Yeah. And I understand, like, it's so... then when I checked in the astrology, I knew, okay, so here's this partnership issue was difficult. But then, like, so I knew what we have, like, good relationship is, like, love relationship, partnership, but like the business we have difficulties, and I didn't want to go to the business with you for like long time because I didn't want to affect this business partnership to the love partnership. But now I think like why not to work on it? I always tell like other people you need to work on your issues. So, and now when I understand, I know my like strengths, like I'm very like disciplined, I need like notion, I need to start task by tasks. But Ryan, he's more creative, and he can do all this like creative like thumbnails and everything in the YouTube. And like then we kind of like, I know the issue, I know how to fix it, and we are doing it.
I think another thing that maybe people struggle with in relationships and they don't want to talk about when it comes to resolving conflicts or communication or struggling with expressing needs is sex.
I just want to tell. I just are like you will start to talk about it.
It's sex, because nobody wants to bring it up when they're like unsatisfied or somebody's doing something wrong. So we definitely went through that as well.
I want to tell like 3 things about the sex life. The first, when you have like I'm trying to remember it, but like when you have like issues with sex life, the three things. When other person very tired. Like when other person like too tired of like kids or something or of work, and other person want to have sex, it's just like you'll not have sex if it's like how tired you are, if you have energy. The second thing is about if you have like always the same sex positions, the same, like it's always the same. It's not like it get like annoyed. It's not like fun anymore. Boring. So you need to like experiment. It's second. If you have like if you're like not tired, you're like have a good energy. But you have like sex like positions and like a sex is always the same. Then you need to work on this like sex like life kind of like interesting. And the third one is the surprises. It's romance. If you don't have this romantic like maybe flowers or something, then it's like issue. And what like when I found this information, like my issue with like sex life it's like I'm always tired. I work so much. And I told Ryan, I know this issue is I'm taking responsibility for the like my what I work always, and I don't bring priority like for some sex life. So like I can work on it, so we have like good like relationship.
Yeah.
I told Ryan like, give me surprises, give me flowers. I want like this romance. And then like when you bring this, and then like sex like you can.
It's also like we're not our like energy throughout the day is different.
Oh yes.
You know, like I kind of like you're very energetic in the morning and like midday. Yeah. And I'm like in the morning like very tired, and it takes me it's like some time to kind of like get awake. And then I have more energy at night. Like I'm more energetic at night, and then you're like super tired at night. It's like sex at night, it's like hardly ever happens. Like very rarely. But one thing that's when you say like sex is always the same and like you need to mix it up because it can become boring. One thing I remember reading about women and climaxing is to like find what works and then just kind of like repeat that like every time. And so I think maybe what works and like what is exciting is not the same thing. You know what I mean? It's like a man can know how to please a woman, but she's still, if you're just doing the exact same thing every time, that's when it's like there's nothing really to look forward to, maybe. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So like if we do, so like we can both finish during sex, right? But maybe it wasn't that exciting. So like you're not going to look forward to that in the future.
Yes.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah.
So it's like just because it's something is like repeatable, right? Like in the woman finishes doesn't mean that she's going to look forward to it next time.
Yes, agree.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's like I think maybe in the beginning or even up until recently it was just like, okay, this is what we do this, we do this, and then like you're happy.
Yes.
But maybe that's the wrong attitude. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes, I think like I want to start with like even like this communication with you, communication issue with the sex. I think what so many people or again maybe it's like Soviet Union or like Latvia, it was so difficult for me to bring it up.
It's a very taboo.
It's very taboo for the woman to tell what something is wrong because you don't want your man to feel bad. Like it's like
put down his manhood.
Yes. And it's like you kind of have this like the weight of like or you start to talk about it and tell like, oh, we have an issue.
Yes.
Or you just like all your life you just don't do nothing.
Or you just struggle with
it
forever.
And what I think that it was difficult. I think like in the beginning you didn't want to talk about it, but like you were like so like after some time you understand like it's only for benefit to make me happy.
You take it personally, I think, as a man.
Yes.
As a man, you take it personally.
Yes. Like, so I think like it's a good perspective from your like. I think for the woman, definitely talk not like it's your fault.
Mm-hmm.
It's a man's fault. It's just like show him
Mm-hmm.
and like show him, and like before it, understand what's good for you, understand your body.
And maybe what you used to want or like, maybe you want something different.
Yes, it's don't like
And you can say the same thing about men too. Men could maybe want something different. They may want to try something, but they're too scared to
I think
to
the
bring
men
it
is
up.
not.
To
Are
bring
they?
it up.
Are they?
I'm sure. I guarantee there's men out there who want to try something or want to do something, but they're too afraid to like even ask their
Can somebody
partner.
comment who is
I guarantee that exists. It
Who's
must
so afraid?
exist. Because I have it.
Okay, tell me what
No,
you
I'm
want.
just kidding. No, we have pretty good like open line of communication,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah, and yes, but it's I think like before like even the sex part, before you can communicate about sex part, you need to communicate good in the like basic level.
Mhm.
Like how I did, like how I talk about the previous episode.
Yeah.
Before you can communicate, it's like sex is difficult topic.
Yeah.
It is. It's like it's always you get
Start somewhere a little bit easier, maybe.
Yeah, so start with
Yeah.
like how you take care of me, what kind of like flowers I want, like what
Mhm.
kind of gifts I want, like
Mhm.
how you want to hug me, how I like to be like everything else before you talk about like this and always of course tell like I know everybody should like know like you tell how good person he is, and then you tell like maybe I want to try something else, and you know, but it's as it was like I think 3 years ago, 4 years ago when I started to talk about it, because in the beginning of relationships, like for the
It
first
was like
year,
5 years ago. It was like I remember it was like when we first moved into that.
you know what happened there? The story was that when we started to live together, no, when we started to date, like when you have like this dating period of first year, you have a great sex life.
Yeah.
Everything's great. Plus, I was drinking. I like drinking, and like when you have alcohol, you have a great sex life.
Right.
Then what's happened after we started to live together? Sex life was like
I get it. Yeah.
it wasn't like so like okay, it was okay like whatever it was.
Yeah.
Then like I stopped to drink. I don't have this like I know when you drink
Desire.
you have, like, desire
yeah,
more.
Yeah.
So alcohol was done. Then like the first year of the like this endorphin or whatever you have also is gone, and now you're just like come to the reality of like
This is it. This
it
yeah.
is, and it's like I really don't like it, and just like and then it was like so difficult to bring it up for Ryan. Like for Ryan, it was like we had like sex life for like 1 year or like 2 years, and you didn't complain. Everything was good, and now why you complain? What's wrong?
Yeah.
And it was like difficult, and I know like couples who after like 30 years and they have like sex life issue, and then like the woman should bring up to the man like, oh, like something's wrong,
Right.
and you didn't tell me for all these 30 years about what's wrong with the sex. So of course the faster you tell about the sex life, it's what's good for you, to tell it. And I think the men appreciate when you tell what's works for you, what's not.
Just having like good communication skills and conflict resolution skills in general will help you to tackle those more difficult topics. You know, speaking of sex,
I think you bring such a like difficult topics for me. I just like really.
well, I just it came to mind, so why not? You know.
It's-
But
yeah.
speaking of sex, the next topic is unrealistic expectations.
Okay. Oh, speaking about sex, yeah.
Speaking about sex. Millennials grew up in an era of high ideals and instant gratification, which can lead to unrealistic expectations about marriage, causing disappointment and disillusionment.
Is it like sex about like this pornography?
No, I'm just... This isn't necessarily about sex. I'm just saying, like, unrealistic expectations. Sex. We don't have to... we can leave sex...
I
we
just
don't
think
need to-
like
we don't need to keep discussing sex. I'm just saying. it's
like I think the last
kind of a joke segue.
about the last like sentence for the sex expectations, but like I think like okay, everybody knows what's the porno. It's not the porno. It's not real life.
Unrealistic expectations. Yes.
It's not like the yeah.
That's a problem. That's definitely a problem.
The woman can't finish so many times.
Yeah. It is a problem, yeah, because that's what men expect real sex in real life to be like.
2 seconds and you're finished.
Yeah. Well, that's more like movies, movies. But yes. But anyways,
okay. If you want to talk more about the comment below, we can talk more.
We can do a deeper dive into sex if that's what the people want. But for now, what we're talking about, and we kind of went into this a little bit in the last episode when we were talking about like social media.
Yes.
And instant gratification.
Yes.
Like we grew up in that era.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of were talking about like the whole idea of patience and how you kind of have to cultivate patience,
yes.
right? To mm-hmm. because we're programmed now mm-hmm. since we were 14, 13, mm-hmm. 14, 15 with instant gratification. Mm-hmm. And how these corporations make so much money is by mm-hmm. making life as easy as possible for their customers. Right?
One click, yeah. Amazon.
Yeah, one click. You just buy now and it's at your door the next day.
Yeah.
Right? So in our relationships aren't that easy. It's not just one click and you get to fix the problem.
Mm-hmm. I want to talk about what the girls can do or the men do a lot in the relationships. What they have this perfect profile or whatever, like in the social media, how like perfect like woman of like perfect like body, whatever, mm-hmm. and then they compare it to your girlfriend, mm-hmm. or they looking for this kind of perfect
right.
person is from the social media. Or even the girls too, they tell like, oh, he should be like very like tall, he should be like wealthy, he should take care of me, should mm-hmm. he like pay for everything. And when this just like good person comes to you and want to date you, and you're like, no, you're not good enough, I want to like see this social media, here's like what's like perfect mm-hmm. like relationship, what I want, but you don't really understand like it's two people. It's not like you don't date like this picture from like some model or whatever, like
that's 100%. Yeah, that is what leads. And I've had friends who will find the tiniest fault with a woman and like leave them for that, whether it's like their earlobes are weird, or did you see her toes, or she has one tooth that looks funny. And it is because of the instant gratification and the unrealistic expectations that we're programmed to believe when we look at social media and all the social media influencers and social media models. And then it's when you have an expectation, if you're single and you have an expectation like this is what my girlfriend or wife is going to look like, when really that photo is so doctored that it's not even real.
Filtered.
It's mm-hmm. real life will never compare to something that's fake. It's essentially fake. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You see like how the Instagram models and stuff literally doctor their photos. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying all of them do that, but they literally doctor them to make them appear skinnier, tanner, mm-hmm. whatever. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it's impossible to live up to that as a woman.
Yes, and then when you have always this partner who tell like you're not good enough, you're like this, it's like I talk about a lot what you need to understand yourself, who you are, but also another person should appreciate like to appreciate you too. Mm-hmm. But again, like I told, you should give the appreciation to the other person.
Yes.
But also just leave this person. If he compares you with like this Instagram people, so like what's good from this person are? Mm-hmm. It's like he's not worth you, worth enough.
He's not worth it then.
Mm-hmm.
If he's gonna leave you for such a stupid reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't compare to something that's literally not real, or his
mm-hmm.
expectations are too high. But women have the same thing with men.
Yes.
There's the same thing with men. Women expect men like they're sugar daddy to take care of everything
Yes.
and buy them whatever they want, the Gucci bag or the whatever other high quality luxury products that are popular nowadays. I'm not sure, but they really, and that's a thing, is like the whole sugaring lifestyle. Like women who literally date men for gifts and money. It's called sugaring.
Even, yes, I think even as millennials, they expect from the parents to like pay for everything, and like, oh, you my mom or dad, you should like provide me and everything. It's like, you're 18, you're grown up, it's done. Like,
18 is it's hard to it is hard to make it as like an 18-year-old, definitely. So I can understand some 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds who still might need some help from their parents.
But remember,
but that's not what we're talking about necessarily. Well, yeah, they well, I think also there are parents who create this kind of person.
yes, and it's easier for a parent to buy everything instead of give him like time and so like time to this person, to this child. He want like it's
That's
easier
how
for
they
this,
show their love, or
yes,
to settle them or calm them.
yes,
Just
and
buy them, give them whatever it is that's going to make them happy.
yes, and then like this girl, all her life just just are like grown up, like she just wants this like all the material things, because it's how she started to understand the love. It's how her parents was like gave her the love, but not really the real time and love.
Or men who've had their moms do everything for them their whole lives. They do their laundry, they clean their room, they cook for them, they do make their bed, they do everything for them, and then men go into a relationship expecting that from a woman. You know, so and it's like we said in the couple of weeks ago in the episode, where it's like you need to live alone before you're in a real relationship
and earn money. I think like the girl should learn how to make money. And the woman
and take care of themselves.
And the man should know how to take care of himself, just cleaning and like do the laundry and clean the toilet. We got the solution.
That's the solution.
The solution.
Yeah, live alone before you live with somebody else or get into a relationship. But it's true. It's like such a cliche, but you do have to learn to love yourself before you can love somebody else. It is such a cliche, but it's, you love yourself by taking care of yourself and not relying on somebody else. You know, so when you don't rely on somebody else, you have so much more to
you're a full
give.
person. You're a full person. You don't need somebody else to fill you up with some like I know, love, appreciation. Like you don't like ask for as a person like, oh, love me, or like appreciate me, or like recognize me, or whatever. Like you're the whole person. You understand what it is.
And those type of people who want those types of things, like they want the man to buy them this, that, you're never like really satisfied, and then you have this expectation. You know, I think it's better to not have that expectation, and then when the partner gives you like an amazing gift, it's that much better. You know what I mean? It's like when you get me something that I wasn't expecting to get. It's like I appreciate it so much more. Yeah. You know? And
yes, and also you appreciate, I think, the value of the money when you start to work for yourself. When you know what it is, when
100%.
What to make money, especially in the how to make money. And the gifts too, I think remember like our first gifts was just like a photography of all the quotes, and like just like
did the photos,
or we did the coupons. I gave the coupons for you. Just like not like material things, but really just from the heart. And but again, we worked a lot in our relationships. So
we have worked a lot.
We pretty like we know what the issue is and like what's happening there right away.
You learn how to fix those issues over time, And it
Yes.
takes a lot of time and hours of conversation and hours of looking at yourself.
Don't give up. I
And
think it's
experience,
like this instant
you know.
gratification, or like the expectation, like you want this like perfect like partner, but you don't give like what's some chance to this person to show himself how great person he is really. And because of your like some filter you have, like, oh, this person should be like this way,
Right.
and because of your like this mask,
Right.
you don't appreciate another person.
It's when you have that awareness. Let's say you're single and you have that awareness. You don't even want to date those kinds of people.
Yes, you can.
You know what I mean?
Nope. Yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah, I think we covered a lot this episode.
We got stuff to do.
Yes, and if you have any questions, how we deal with any things, how we deal with the things, you have any questions about relationships or any other questions you have for us, we're happy to reply.
Yeah, so thanks for tuning in on this week's episode. Please subscribe, thumbs up the video, give us a 5-star review. I believe on Spotify and Apple we have a box below where you can give us some topics or some ideas that you might want to hear us discuss in a future podcast. So feel free to fill that out. If you're on YouTube or Rumble, just feel free to comment, and we definitely will see it. We appreciate all of you so much, and we will see you next week on next week's episode.